Saturday's semifinal action. Semifinal number 1, University of Calgary Dinosaurs against the Manitoba Bisons. And in the early going, Manitoba was the dominant team. Bisons won the first 2 games of the best-of-5 series with a combination of good defense and a strong attack. But Calgary showed grit and determination, coming back to take the next 3 games. The large contingent of Calgary fans delighted as this match wound down, and they were able to cheer on their team and Coach Greg Ryan, and the Dinosaurs move on to the CIAU final for the 2nd straight year. Their opponents, the University of Montreal Carabin, had a somewhat easier time defeating the University of Winnipeg in 4 games. TSN volleyball commentator Vic Lindell joins me now. Victor, you're a big proponent of the sports psychology, the mental edge. What does it mean for these 2 teams?
Well, the 2 teams have shown that they clearly are mentally strong because both teams have been able to come back. They've been behind and they've come back. That's one key thing, and we'll call the mental edge. But another one is, don't get too high and don't get too low. If you do something really well, anchor it. Feel good about it, but don't get too high. Both these teams have shown that. But one of the things that's also very interesting about volleyball is you have 6 players in a very close proximity. How well do you get along with each other? That could be the key factor. Montreal at times gets a little upset. That's clearly mental. But both teams have shown the one thing that's important in volleyball today is patience. And that's what they both have.
Well, we're going to see some great players in this game, but 2 of them wear number 11 for their respective teams, Simone Belleur and Andy Cameron of Calgary.
Simone Belleur is going to come out of the back row. He's going to hit left front. He's going to hit right front. He's going to hit in the middle. He's going to hit from everywhere. This man is absolutely awesome. That's the only way to describe him. Future national team player. You're going to see an absolute clinic on how to hit that ball. And Andy Cameron?
And Andy Cameron.
Andy Cameron was saying to me, he said, you know, when the game is really going well, he said, I have an expanded vision, and it appears in slow motion. Now, we know that all of the very best athletes get that feeling. When we watched Andy in the semifinals, that clicked in Game 3, and Game 4, and Game 5. Will it click in early tonight? That's the key for Calgary.
Well, and of course, the Dinosaurs will be 1 man short because Chris Qualley was hurt in the first game against the University of Manitoba in the semifinal, so he won't be available for this game. He's a middle blocker, he's a key component, and it'll be the Calgary bench that will have to fill the role there. We'll take a break. We've got the final of the men's volleyball coming up from the University of Alberta in Edmonton. Calgary and Montreal next on TSN.
There's nothing better than winning a Super Bowl or a NASCAR race. But to finish strong, you have to start fresh. Interstate batteries are fresh. For factory fresh power, call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Start fresh with Interstate.
Getting to know.
Everybody's different. Different looks, different tastes, different lifestyles. That's why Geo offers you a choice, like the import-inspired Geo Metro, Geo Storm, and Geo Tracker. So pick your favorite and get to know Geo right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
Hi, this is Buck Martinez. I'll be following the Blue Jays throughout spring training. Join me daily on Sports Desk, right here on TSN.
Welcome back to the University of Alberta. The main gymnasium jammed to the rafters for this final. Good crowd on hand, despite the fact the host team, the Golden Bears, are not in the final. It is Calgary and the University of Montreal Carabin. And I think now we're ready to introduce the starting lineup. The center is Jeff Wenzel, 21-year-old from Calgary. Blair McDermott's a big key in the defensive part of the game. He's a middle blocker. Jason Smigel takes over for the injured Chris Qualley in the middle as well. Andy Cameron, 5th and final year of eligibility in the CIAU. This will be his last game tonight. Benj Hendricks, one of the unsung heroes of this team, a right side center from Entwistle, Alberta. And Chris Parsons, the other member of the Dinosaurs who's playing his last university game, starts the power hitter position. That's the University of Calgary Dinosaurs starting lineup. Greg Ryan is the head coach in his 8th year with the team. And I think ready to show you the University of Montreal group as well. Beginning with Mark Ouellette, a 20-year-old middle blocker from Montreal. Lauren Anaby, a PhD student in biochemistry. He is age 22. Christian Chartier, who has played very well in his 2nd year, a phys ed student from Montreal. Bernard Lemieux, the key to this team, other than Berleur, he is the center. Gervais Perron, the captain of the Carabin, 24-year-old engineering student. And Simone Berleur, number 11, who we talked about at the outset. And there is Alain Belleville in his 1st year coaching the Carabin of Montreal. And he is delighted to be in the position to win this championship, as you can imagine. He told me yesterday that really the key for him was beating Laval, the Rouge et Or. As you look at Greg Ryan of Calgary, the Rouge et Or had won the Quebec University men's title 11 straight years.
Alain was also saying that one of his mentors was Charles Cardinal, and he said Charles is big on planning. So Alain had only planned to win his conference. He said everything from this point on is a bonus.
One last word of encouragement from Greg Ryan. And there is Ed Taves of Manitoba. He and Guy Bradbury from Newfoundland will be the men in charge of this contest. A best-of-5 series for the CIAU men's title and the Tantramar Trophy. 27th year of competition for the Tantramar Trophy, donated by Mount Allison University.
Ed Taves, our referee, is very experienced. He's an outstanding international referee. I had asked him before, I said, sure you're an international referee, but have you been practicing? He said, yes, I've been practicing, Vic. I said, well, that's good.
Mark Ouellette for the University of Montreal will get us started here. First serve of the match, a best-of-5 series.
So Calgary went after Heinrichs right off the bat, and Heinrichs made a really bad pass. Andy Cameron's a spike server.
Serve will need a turn or two to get warmed up. Here is Gervais Perron, the captain, to serve. And Blair McDermott.
Blair coming in for a quick shot in behind. One of the things that Greg Ryan said they would try to do is they try and run that quick shot on the right side, right behind the setter.
Jeff Wenzel to serve for Calgary. That time the block by Heinrich and McDermott, but it's out of bounds.
Well, when we asked Alain what he thought of Cartier, he said, Cartier number 10, he said, power. And that was a clear example of it. He just goes right up and challenges the block.
Bernard Lemieux serve out of bounds. McDermott now for Calgary, 4th year student. There's Berleur. First point of the match.
Blair McDermott was the top server in the Canada West, and he's got a great serve down the line. And it normally just moves about 2 or 3 feet. Good float serve.
Here is Berleur, 3rd-year math student from Montreal. And Long with his spike serve. So side out Calgary.
Simone injured his foot slightly in the dressing room before the semifinals last night, and that will have an effect on his game tonight.
Good block at the net that time. Cameron and Jason Smigel got the job done. It's 2-0 for the Dinosaurs.
Well, Schmeichel's going to be pretty happy because what he's known for is his speed and his quickness in the middle and not the blocking. That was the thing that Qualley was going to be in there for.
Parsons along with the serve. Side out now for the University of Montreal. And Christian Chartier to serve, 2nd-year phys ed student. Cameron absolutely hammered that one. He's got 58 kills in the first 2 games of this tournament.
Well, when I was wondering whether Cameron was going to get into it early, it certainly looks like he is.
Good block at the net, but the ball's out of bounds.
It's out of bounds, but it was touched by the Montreal team before it hit the floor. Now, the Calgary team was going to try to serve short to the power hitters, and that's what Benj did last time and took the player right out of the play.
Good save by McDermott. And Parsons with the winner that time off the hands of a defender. 4-0 Calgary. And quickly a timeout on the floor called by Alain Belleville. He wants to see his team and have a word, and we'll come back after this timeout.
Wait! I'm having a snack attack!
Captain Nibbler, to the rescue! With cheese nibblers from McCain, the delicious, nutritious snack that satisfies your sudden hunger as only the taste of real cheese can.
We're having a snack attack!
McCain makes nibblers from cheddar, mozzarella, Montreal, marble cheese, and convenient single snacks and multi-packs. So when you feel a snack attack coming on, grab a McCain cheese nibbler. Now available in pizza and nachos.
Welcome back to the main gymnasium at the University of Alberta in Edmonton. Peter Watson, Vic Lindell with you towards the end of a busy Sunday on the Sports Network. Lots of activity for you all day long. Right now, it's men's volleyball. As you look at Alain Belleville, the first-year coach of the University of Montreal men's team, Benj Heinrichs, to serve for Calgary. His team leads 4-0. Berler is long with the kill attempt. 5-0 Calgary.
Well, Berler was down a little bit last night and came back. He's going to certainly have to do that if Montreal is going to stay in this game because he is their bread and butter.
Good try for the block at the net, but that time the winner goes to the University of Montreal.
Well,
And it will be Goran Anabi to serve for the Carabins.
Anabi, by the way, is taking his PhD in biochemistry. Just got back from Brussels. He was over there on a co-op program. They have an exchange program.
Jason Smigel to serve now for the Dinosaurs. Good hit that time. Mark Ouellette.
Mark Ouellette has got to establish that middle, so with Montreal going to that early, that's going to make Calgary very cognizant of his position. Same thing back for Calgary, established with Big Blair and McDermott. That's one of the things that Calgary did not do well last year in the final against Laval. They didn't run the middle. This time they're starting to.
Cameron serves long. I think if you're a Dinosaur fan and you've watched this team a little bit, you have to be encouraged by the fact that they've gotten away to a good start. This team is notoriously slow out of the gate. And right now they're up 5-0 with Montreal serving. Parsons off the block of Berler out of bounds, and it's side out for the Dinosaurs.
So Parsons said what he wanted to do is he wanted to go up and challenge that block early, and that's exactly what you see him doing, going up and off the hands and out of bounds. He also said that it's his 5th year, his shoulder's been bothering him, but he says there's no more matches after this.
Cameron saved that one, but it hit the rafter up in the ceiling. And it's side out now for Montreal with Bernard Lemieux serving. Off the block of McDermott out of bounds. And Montreal with its first point of the match. Bernard Lemieux serving. 4th-year medicine student.
We're getting a carry ball called. Ed Taves, the referee, giving a carry ball on that. So you can see right in here, Wenzel's in tight, he's up, and he does carry it, yes.
Parsons out of bounds, I think.
Well, Parsons was out of bounds, crossed the center line, crashed into the net. It was a really quick set to the outside, though.
5-3, Calgary leading. Montreal fighting back, down 5-0 early. That one's knocked out of bounds.
And Peter, that was the shot that Blair McDermott did not have last year in that final against Laval. Calgary is trying to establish the middle, and it looks like they're doing it. Once they do that, they're going to hold that blocker.
It's on the line, but it's ruled out by the official. Side out now for Montreal. Simon Belleur spent some time with the national team during a tour of Europe over the Christmas season and will be a candidate for the FISU team this summer in Buffalo.
Brian Watson, former national team coach, has suggested that Simon Belleur is the kind of player that they want to move to the national team.
Locked at the net. Good effort there by the University of Montreal. Marc Ouellette and Boran Anabi got that point for the Carabins.
Timeout called by the University of Calgary now, trying to settle things down.
It was 5-0. It is now 5-all.
Out on the outside, you're going to see an excellent block. They use a swing block. Parsons down, but he's not out.
All in game 1 from Edmonton.
After years of living with a mouthwash that feels like it just masks bad breath, it's time for a revolution. Introducing a mouthwash so breathtaking your breath feels noticeably fresher. New Scope with Oraseptate. New Scope cleans your mouth and helps remove bacterial film, penetrating the pockets that trap bacteria. With patented Oraseptate, your mouth feels noticeably cleaner and fresher than ever before. The revolution's on. New Scope with Oraseptate beats bad breath clean.
Coach Greg Ryan with his final instructions to his team. Smeigel's up in the front row, so I think they're going to continue to attack the middle, as you suggested they were doing pretty effectively, Vic.
Well, he also wants to come in on the quick ones in behind for Ben Heinrichs. Rather interesting statistic we have right now. Calgary has a 77% attack efficiency, whereas Montreal only has an 8% attack efficiency. They're 5-5. Can you imagine when Montreal's attack efficiency starts to come up? When Simon Belleur starts to hit some balls in and gets himself in that game, I think Montreal is going to do well.
Parsons serves. And it's side out for Montreal off the fingertips of one of the Calgary defenders.
That's why Chris Parsons says he won't be going up for the national team. He says the defense is not that good. Well, good combination there with Andy Cameron coming in as the second man. First one, setting him up, and Cameron coming in and putting him through the block.
And just like that, side out again for Montreal. Marc Ouellette with the kill that time. First year phys ed student, one of 7 players from Maisonneuve Junior College. Defense frozen.
Well, you see, there was an unusual situation. I like to call that the gray area. Do we block or not block, or do we have free ball? And Cameron was just far enough off the net, he could find an open spot in the corner with no block. Net violation called on the Calgary team. And number 2, Gervais Perron, with that left hand, is being very effective for Calgary.
Cameron, nice move, great defense, but it was just poked out of bounds by Belleur. Terrific tie by this Montreal team that's a little bit shorter, Vic, and really has to rely on its quickness on defense to be competitive.
Precisely, and that was an example of Cameron using a rollover shot. Of course, they wouldn't be ready for Cameron to do that.
Another one where the whole Montreal defense froze, and McDermott gets credit for the kill.
Remember, Cameron missed his first 2 spike serves. He hasn't let up. He's still going for it.
It's in.
And that's what we call the mental edge. You might have missed 2, but one of the key things that people have to realize is that you've got to act in the moment. What's past is dust. You got to deal with right now, and that's what Cameron's doing.
Good defense by Smigel. And great defense that time by Bernard Lemieux of Montreal.
Yeah, well, it's often the case when you get an overbump like that, you think, God, I'm going to go out and ram it down their throat. But Lemieux was ready for McDermott.
A winner that time by Simon Brûleur. He found the corner of the court. It was 5-0 for Calgary. Then it was 5-all. Right now it is 7-6 Calgary in game 1 of this best-of-5 series. McDermott with 2 blocks at the net. Gets credit for a point.
Well, McDermott was the #1 blocker in the Canada West. Him and Qualley were 1-2. So you can see why McDermott is one of the top blockers and maybe a future national team player.
Cameron. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. Good try for the block by Montreal, but the ball went over the end line. 8-6 Calgary.
That's called down the pipe. Little statistic, Calgary only passing at 25%, Montreal at 60%. So remember I was saying I couldn't figure out why Montreal was able to stay in there because their kill efficiency wasn't very good. Now you take a look at Brûleur when he does that little step around. He comes around and a 1-footer and cross court and down.
Side out to Calgary. 8-6 the Dinosaurs lead here in game number 1.
Now serving for Calgary, Blair McDermott.
Blair McDermott joined the team in 1990. The team went 8-8 that year after its national championship in '89. Parsons has it rejected, but the ball is knocked out of bounds. A point to Calgary, 9-6.
Well, there's Parsons finding a way to use that block. He's taking a look, and it is out of bounds. Parsons is not afraid to challenge the blocks.
Good job by Montreal that time. Much better pass by Blair McDermott to the front. A good set, but just great defense by the Canadiens.
Well, they read the X. Benj Heinrichs was coming around on the X, and Montreal read it beautifully, left 2 guys on him, and took the second man around.
Brûleur, trouble with the spike serve. Side out Calgary, 9-6 the Dinosaurs lead.
In the attack efficiency, you know, we said the 2 number 11s. Right now, Brûleur is only at 33% efficiency, whereas Andy Cameron's at 54, and that's an incredible efficiency for Cameron.
Arquillette couldn't make the return. Here's Chris Parsons to serve again, 10-6 Calgary. He made the shot that time.
Ouellette seems to be hitting the middle with just absolute ease. Schmeichel, who's supposed to be blocking him, is being totally baffled by him right now.
Once again, Andy Cameron takes something off the kill and dumps it into no man's land.
Calgary ran an X, though, and Ouellette was kept in the middle and went out there a little bit late, and then Cameron just half-speeded it.
Out of bounds. Didn't touch a Calgary player. Point to the Dinosaurs. The 11-6 Calgary with Benj Heinrichs. Back to serve once again. And we have a timeout on the floor called by the University of Montreal. Calgary leads the Canadiens by a score of 11-6 in game 1 of this best-of-5 final.
The University of Alberta defeated Regina.
Please let Jeff. You got me playing right here. Shower, they're hitting hard there. Exactly. You guys are back there. Snap. Keep your hands up when on the serving. Bungie, just light feet when you're passing all the time. What do we got coming? All right. You guys got to appreciate it. Hey. 13-3-2. 2 will get the 13 left-handed.
3, you get the 51. Okay, 5, take them this way. And 12 will have yellow.
And if 13 comes, Bunge, where do you block them?
13?
No.
Number 2. Let's go, guys.
Depending on the angle of his approach. All right, here we go. Our game on match. 1, 2.
Let's go, boys.
Greg Ryan's first time out was called at 5-all after his team had opened up a 5-0 lead here in game 1. He has to be a little bit more encouraged by the performance of his team, which leads 11-6 now, with Heinrich serving. Good try at the net by Smigel and Jeff Wenzel.
Well, they're just not preparing well for the left-hander. Left-hander on the what they refer to as the power side can be very deceiving. And that can be deceiving when you make the old miss hit. You come in there and they're ready for it and you just miss hit it. So you look at the timing, he's there and he just went up too late.
It's outside. Good try by Cameron. Tried to fool everybody, including his own teammates, but the ball just fell outside the line.
Well, Cameron was over covering, you see. He's the one that covers for the tip there. A little disappointed in not getting that ball up to the center. And that's a shot that Blair McDermott needs to do very often to make sure Calgary come through with a gold medal here.
That's textbook for Blair McDermott. Little short set. He hits the ball before it reaches the height of the arc. And it's really deceptive and really difficult to defend against. Good play that time by Gervais Perron, the left-hander, who hammered a winner into the backcourt. 11-6 Calgary lead. Perron to serve for Montreal. Smigel blocked it neatly, but the ball falls out of bounds. 11-7 Calgary. Gervais Perron, the team captain. Once again, a little roll over the net. Falls in for a winner. Side out Dinosaurs.
Well, Jeff Wenzel said a little prayer after that. That was a broken play. Wenzel's pretty good on that play, but in that particular case, it was a broken play.
Good try on the save. Parsons slides out of bounds. And we've got some moisture on the court and perspiration. And the players are in charge of housekeeping here. Heinrichs with the winner. Side out Dinosaurs. 11-7 Calgary leads. One of the products of the rural program of volleyball development in Alberta, Ben Heinrichs from Entwistle, about an hour west of Edmonton. Here is Simone Belleur now to serve for the Montreal Carabins. From the outside. That's tough to do with a torn rotator cuff in the right shoulder.
Well, Greg Ryan says this man has more moves than a can of worms, and that's a good example because we've seen him crack it down the line and we've seen him move it straight across court as he did there.
A winner that time, Smigel and Cameron at the net. 12-7 Calgary. And a winner that time. Good shot by Gervais Perron. Montreal in a little trouble, a scramble around, and wouldn't you know it, they get the point. Perron, the team captain, made the junior national team in volleyball as a 15-year-old in 1986.
Net violation called by Guy Bradbury from Newfoundland, one of the international officials on this match.
Good play once again by Mark Ouellette. That's a first-year performer out there, number 3 for the University of Montreal. He was a finalist for the CIAU Rookie of the Year this year. Won the Quebec nomination.
Alain kind of thought that maybe he should have been Rookie of the Year for the whole conference.
University of Winnipeg won most of the awards. And we have a substitution on the floor for the University of Calgary with Scott Anderson, number 5, coming in. Jason Smigel taking a seat beside Greg Ryan.
Scott Anderson has a little ritual, he told me. A little spins the ball, looks for the valve, takes a look where he's going to serve it, make sure it gets in. Very unusual to put in a 6'7" player to play the back row as a serving and defensive specialist. But Greg Ryan has done that very consistently. Spins the ball.
Out of bounds that time on the serve. He does pick up a point. It's 13-7 Dinosaurs. Side out to the University of Montreal. It's out of bounds. A point to Montreal. Cameron just missed. Tried for the outside corner. Mark Ouellette serves. That time, the winner hit by Gervais Perron. 3 blockers at the net for Calgary. They got their hands on the ball, but it went out of bounds.
Rather unusual that Calgary would try it. Calgary just changed their service reception. It's going to put Andy over on the other side. Net violation on the Montreal team. Guy Bradbury, the umpire on the floor. Ed Taves, the referee.
Bernard Lemieux, not very happy with the call. Watch number 6 in the blue.
Here's your net violation.
Mark Ouellette sits down on the floor on the bench for Montreal. And a net serve by Heinrich, so side out for the University of Montreal. And it is Vincent Larive, number 1, a defensive specialist, only 5 feet 10 inches tall. Second-year phys ed student from Montmorency CEGEP in Quebec. It's out.
Ball was set just a little bit low for Cameron, and so he had a much flatter trajectory.
Montreal closing ground, trailing 13-10 in the opening game. Parsons
last year played right side. He's getting back over and playing power. He really enjoys it, but he says that when he turns and cuts the ball down the line, that's where his rotator cuff really bothers him.
And Cameron can't save it. Good try as he slides into the signage along the side of the court. Side out Montreal. It'll be Bernard Lemieux.
When you said side out, that's what Greg Ryan and Alain Belleville want to do. Play side out volleyball. Referee making another good call. It was in tight and it was a carried ball on the setter.
Another substitution for Calgary. Jason Smigel back into the ball game, number 10. And Scott Anderson comes out.
Well, the game really starts now, Peter. This is when you find out which team really has it.
The mental edge just out of bounds.
Mental edge starts at 12 points.
13-12 now with a timeout on the floor called by the Dinosaurs. 13-12, Calgary leads. They led by 5-0. They led by 11-6.
Poor pass up, and even though Parsons tried to hit it around that block, it was just out of bounds. Montreal plays very good perimeter defense. So if you're going to get it by them, you have to really cut it sharply by them. In that case, Parsons tried that, just out of bounds. The big thing is he went for it.
In 14 years, Alain Belfield has never been close to winning a national championship at any level. He's been a development coach. He is, in fact, a master coach in the summer months for Volleyball Canada. He goes across the country and does clinics for aspiring coaches.
Yeah, one of the ironies is he ends up at Jasper at the volleyball camp in Alberta, and he ends up quite regularly there. One of the characteristics of volleyball coaches is that very often we get them sharing their knowledge right across the country.
Bernard Lemieux serves for Montreal. Parsons inbounds that time, right on the line. There wasn't a thing that Vincent Larive could do about it. Side out Dinosaurs, leading by a point, 13-12 in game 1 of the best of 5 final for the CIAU Men's Championship.
Now, Parsons got that ball down one-on-one because the middle was frozen. Schmeigel froze that middle, and that substitution coming back in, or Let coming back into the game now. But the big thing on that one was Schmeigel and Heinrichs both went after the ball and held the Montreal middle.
McDermott serves for Calgary. And a great try by Jeff Wenzel, but the ball went up into the roof and made contact, and so it is side out Montreal. 14-12, the Dinosaurs lead.
McDermott's a big guy, and you know he's real well at blocking. He's also a good serve receiver, and he's also one of the top servers in Canada West.
Here's Chris Parsons. Did not play in the 1989 national final. He was on the team as a rookie. Calgary won it, and they win here. Game number 1 to the Dinosaurs by a score of 15-12, and they're 2 games away from winning the national championship. 15-12, the Dinosaurs beat the University of Montreal, game 1 of the best of 5 final. And we'll take a break and come back with game number 2 in this men's championship from the University of Alberta in Edmonton after this.
There's nothing better than winning a Super Bowl or a NASCAR race. But to finish strong, you have to start fresh. Interstate batteries are fresh. For factory fresh power, call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Start fresh with Interstate.
Getting to know you.
Get to know Geo your own way. Todd and his Geo never go out without each other. Aaron and Steve road trip with theirs and like the idea of roadside assistance. Kelly kicks back with a good book, a real fuel economy story. And Drew spends a little quality time with his Geo. So get to know your own Geo on a first name basis, right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealer.
We've always taken care of ourselves, but now it's doubly important to my peace of mind to know how to maintain regularity without drugs or medication. That's why now, more than ever, I rely on All Bran from Kellogg's. As part of a balanced diet, All Bran is a very high source of fiber.
All Bran from Kellogg's. All the time. A drug-free way to promote regularity.
Curling's elite are set to rock the house down in the nation's capital. Don't miss exciting end-to-end action at the 1993 Labatt Brier twice daily, right here on Real TV, TSN.
Tonight's telecast from Edmonton is brought to you by Geo. Get to know Geo at your Chevrolet Geo dealer. Welcome back to the main gymnasium at the University of Alberta in Edmonton. 1 game in the record books. It went to the University of Calgary by a score of 15-12. They got away to a good start, uncharacteristic of this team, which is notoriously slow out of the gate, but they won the first game. They need to win 2 more against a very good Montreal team, and Dexter the Dinosaur and a bunch of people from the University of Calgary have made it north to Edmonton. They were, most of them were at the main gymnasium at the Jack Stimson Gym in Calgary on Saturday night to cheer Gary Howard and his basketball team on to victory in the Canada West basketball final. The Dinosaurs going to Halifax for the first time since '76, and Greg Ryan would like to get the job done on the volleyball court here tonight and get himself a national title to go along with the one the team won in 1989.
I was asking him if he gets a chance to go out and watch the national team very much. He said, well, with my own team and my 4 kids at home, he says, I only have time for the family and my own volleyball team.
Well, the national team practices for the most part in the mornings, and Greg stays home with the family and then comes in the afternoon and instructs in his own program. We'll talk about both of these coaches and what they're putting back into the game here when we get an opportunity. Meantime, game 2 to start. Andy Cameron of Calgary with the ball in play.
Well, it's at that time with the overbump. McDermott remembers what happened to him the last time, and this time he decided to push it away from Lemieux on the block.
What we are seeing to this point, and it's still early, is the veteran players, the key players, the people who have to play well for Calgary are doing that. There's McDermott once again with help from Jeff Wenzel. Last year, the Dinosaurs went down in straight games, 3-0 to Laval in the final at the University of Winnipeg. And the veteran players weren't very happy with their own efforts. This time around, you look at the 4 senior guys for Calgary, and you can throw in Ben Heinrichs as well. But Wenzel and Cameron and McDermott, and especially Parsons, who's been more of a factor in the first game than he was in the entire match last year, have really been terrific. A great block at the net that time. Parsons tried for the kill, and Bernard Lemieux, rather, was on hand.
Well, Parsons would like to suggest he was just trying out the block. He'll often experiment with going at the block to find out where the holes are. Somebody might, on one occasion, say, well, gee, you got stuff, whereas Parsons just looks at it as an experiment. But he's having another experiment, and right now, these guys are putting the ball in. Well, let's see what Wenzel does now. He's got McDermott to go to. They made a little adjustment in the lineup.
Well, there's another one that's almost a miss hit by McDermott, but he dumped it in for a winner.
Tell you, Peter, you are guest, so you can pick up this volleyball. That's exactly what McDermott did, a miss hit. My old buddy Harry Bradley does that at the YMCA every Tuesday and Thursday.
And you're always on the opposite side of the floor, are you?
No, I just watch now, since I hurt my knee.
What a great serve by Wenzel.
You're finding a lot of the CIAU teams are using short serves to take the ace attacker out of the play.
Went long that time, and Montreal decided to play it, and that time they came away lucky because Mark Ouellette hammered a winner right down the center of the court that fell into the backcourt. Side out Montreal, 4-3 Dinosaurs. And it's in. Cameron down the middle. Gets another kill.
Well, Cameron coming right down on the pike. Now that's a good example. Just a little quick one in there. You see, it wasn't very high, and the blockers were moving over to the right side and left it wide open down the middle.
Cameron dumped his serve into the, I beg your pardon, McDermott dumped his serve into the net. Side out now for Montreal, and just like that, Heinrichs hits the winner, and Calgary's Parsons goes back to the line.
I'd like to have a left-hander being able to take that quick in behind. That's one of the things that Greg Ryan wanted to do. The team's following his game plan. Notice that Simon Bruleur came back and made exactly the same shot back at Calgary.
Side out Montreal, 4-3 Dinosaurs lead in game 2. That was off the fingertips of a Montreal defender. Calgary a little fortunate there, a tough pass from the back line for Wenzel to try and set. But the Dinosaurs got the job done.
a little bit off that. I think his foot injury is bothering him a little bit, and sometimes that kind of a foot injury can bother you more mentally than it does physically.
Saved by Wenzel.
Free ball here for Calgary.
Parsons is blocked at the net.
Now, we're having a little discussion because in Calgary feels that ball rolled over the net. Ed Taves is suggesting maybe it didn't. Let's take a look at it. There it is. The ball rolled down, and it looks like it might have rolled over and into the court. Guy Bradbury is also indicating that he thinks that Parsons was a back row player anyway ahead of the 3-meter line. So either way, Calgary would have lost it.
Service long by Christian Chartier of Montreal. And Jason Smigel back now for the Dinosaurs. 5-3, Calgary leads in game 2. It is out. Good eyesight there by Jason Smigel. It was pretty close, but it was just outside the line.
Timeout called by Montreal.
Timeout on the floor. We will take a break. 6-3 is the score. Calgary leads in game 2 after winning game number 1 of the CIAU Men's Volleyball Championship from Edmonton.
Many years ago, we came here from France with some very special recipes for old-fashioned hams. We called them Tour Eiffel because they embrace the very flavor of France. Tour Eiffel Farmer's Style still contains 40% less salt than our country ham, and 60 grams contain only 1 gram of fat. Try Farmer's Style and our other Tour Eiffel hams from McCain, like Black Forest and Parisien, and enjoy the flavor of France.
It's been a busy day on the Sports Network. We had some curling for you, and we will have some more. We have had junior hockey. Now we've got men's volleyball as the National Intercollegiate Championship of the CIAU is decided here at the University of Alberta in Edmonton. Greg Ryan's team won the first game over the University of Montreal, 15-12. What have you got there, sir?
Well, it was 15-12, pretty even game in Calgary and Montreal. Calgary had 40% of their service reception. That's only 40% up to the setter for perfect pass. It's really low. You got to really, at this level, get up around 60%. Montreal had 44%. Now, when you talk about kills, which you just saw Andy Cameron do there, that's where Calgary was ahead of Montreal with 27 kills. Montreal only with 22. Both teams great on defense, both with 11 digs.
Good service reception by Chris Parsons. Great kill by Andy Cameron. The veterans are leading the way. And the veterans have done again. McDermott and Wenzel blocked once again on Gervais Perron. And it's 8-3 for the Dinosaurs.
I'm surprised you haven't indicated what Blair McDermott's nickname is, Peter.
I was saving that for you.
Well, now that was a great recovery by Montreal. By both teams being able to stay in there for more than one play. And it was interesting that it was finished off by Calgary with a half speed.
Cameron is on fire.
Cameron a little off balance, you'll notice, but with that great jump, he's able to put it down. Look at the recoveries here. Just absolutely great defense.
That time, Wenzel was going to set it for McDermott and then tried to sneak the left-handed fastball over the net.
Greg Ryan indicated at Christmas they went on a new jump training program, which is rather unusual, and Cameron put a couple inches on his jump in 2 weeks. And Andy Cameron's one of the best jumpers on the team, and there were 3 inches put on Jeff Wenzel's blocking. Any coaches out there might be interested in dropping Ryan a letter to find out.
Montreal, Johan Michaud into the game, number 4. And he takes over for Boran Anabi. Cameron with the good spike serve. Well, it's going to go to the University of Montreal. Great set. And a fine job there by Bernard Lemieux.
That's why you've got a top referee up there. He let him play it. Some referees will sometimes call that a replay. Ed Taves, being a top referee, said, hey, look, play it out.
Gervais Perron. Terrific play for the University of Montreal.
Well, in that particular situation, Cameron was just a little bit late with a low set, but the block had him read, and they lined up right on
Serving
him.
for Calgary, Jeff Wenzel.
10-4, Calgary leads. Jeff Wenzel to serve for the Dinosaurs.
Now, there's a case, you see, Simon Berleur mistimed that. He's getting a bit discouraged. Now we're going to find out whether he's going to be in the game. So he comes in on this one. You see it again. He's a bit late, mistimes it. No go. Timeout called by Montreal.
A timeout on the floor, a timeout in the telecast. 11-4, the Dinosaurs lead. Back to Edmonton for more men's volleyball after this.
You know what's wrong with bathroom tissue? It's always running out. Why don't they make it last longer?
Well, take a look at this. It's Royale Jumbo, and it's new. Jumbo size to last much longer. Royale Jumbo's a roll and a half with 50% more sheets than regular Royale. And of course, it's kitten soft, but it's 2-ply and strong. Best of all, it lasts much longer. New kitten soft Royale Jumbo. It's a roll and a half.
Gymnasium at the University of Alberta in Edmonton. It's been spruced up a little bit in the last couple of years. It looks pretty nice. And it looks especially good because it's basically full. A good crowd here. Despite the fact that the Golden Bears are not playing, the volleyball fans of Northern Alberta have turned out in very, very good numbers to cheer on these two teams.
Our statistician, Dave Jones, has given me an interesting statistic on attack percentages. Calgary's at 14%. But how about this? Minus 27% for Montreal. That's a pretty telling statistic.
Well, the best offense was good defense there, and Bernard Lemieux showed it to you.
There it is, right up and blocked. Now, they're getting used to seeing Cameron come down the middle, so they're able to put two blockers on him.
They should be getting used to that little play, too. That little half set to McDermott gets another winner.
Yeah, quick set to McDermott, but McDermott is showing tremendous versatility because that time he cut it right back. I mean, McDermott has shown us about 6 different shots there. And McDermott showing great defense. Well, Parsons doing what he said he was going to do. He's going to hit every ball hard tonight. He said, this is my last year, and I don't care how that shoulder feels at the end of this. Little panic there by Chartier. I mean, his job is to pound that ball hard. He's a big guy and he's powerful. Tip shots are not appropriate. You notice Chartier decided to get up and hit that one that time, and he managed to get a piece of the block.
I noticed Parsons really into this game. He wound up in row 3, but he's okay.
There is a rule now, too, in international volleyball that your last step has got to be on the green carpet.
We haven't pointed out the fact that you're looking at a special volleyball floor. This floor is owned by the national team. It was used for their matches in the World League the last couple of years. It's marked specifically for volleyball, and it's not marked for anything else, so it's a whole lot easier to follow the ball. that it is in the normal gymnasium. And Berleur found a hole in the Calgary defense that time. Side out for the University of Montreal. Berleur goes back to serve, but the Carabins are in a deep hole here. They lost the first game 15-12, and they're down 13-4 here in game number 2.
Well, that foot injury is really making a difference in Berleur. He's still playing nowhere near how well he played last night. Whether he's able to come back, it's hard to say. But right now, he's mentally demoralized, and that's come from his poor performance and that poor ankle.
That time, the winner goes to Christian Chartier.
Chartier coming around on a well-executed X, cutting it back deep into zone 5.
Jason Schweigel hit that one for a winner. Side out for the Dinosaurs.
The team following the game strategy, they really wanted to have Benj Heidrichs hit a lot of those balls, but there's Schmeigel coming in and hitting that quick back set.
Good serve that time for Schmeigel.
One of the reasons why that serve is so effective, Peter, is that most teams use 2 service receivers, and both of them are what they refer to as your power hitters. So serve it short on them and take them out of the play.
A point to Calgary. Didn't touch anybody. The ball is knocked out of bounds. 15-4, the second game to the Dinosaurs, and they have won the first 2 games of this series. 15-12, 15-4. Calgary 1 game away from its 2nd national championship in the last 4 years, and its 3rd overall. They won it in '83. They want to get it 89. Can they win in '93? We'll find out.
Getting to know.
Everybody's different. Different looks, different tastes, different lifestyles. That's why Geo offers you a choice, like the import-inspired Geo Metro, Geo Storm, and Geo Tracker. So pick your favorite and get to know Geo right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
We didn't know why Dave wanted to stop in this town.
I promised Mom I'd look up a family friend.
Family friend? Seems you went to see this girl, Doreen.
Well, I'm a friend of Doreen's. Doreen's in the other room.
Well, he got all he could handle.
Hi, Doreen.
So you've met Doreen Kim.
Excuse me, I gotta make a phone call.
We would have helped him out.
Guys, you gotta get over here.
But we were kind of occupied.
He says no way.
Molson Canadian with beers, all of it.
NTN's interactive games put you in the middle of televised sporting events, and you call the shots live. Football strategy in QB1. Predict goals scored with power play hockey. Step to the plate with Diamond Ball. And challenge your knowledge with NTN Trivia. Compete against your friends and opponents across the NTN network. Now you can play in the majors for real. Now playing in licensed locations across Canada. Power play hockey. For information, call 1-800-661-PLAY.
Greg Ryan in his 8th year as coach of the Calgary Dinosaurs. He was telling me an interesting story yesterday. He said that after the loss to Laval last year in Winnipeg, the veteran players went out to drown their sorrows, shall we say, and it was at that point that they determined that they were going to come back and make a run at this national championship and see if they couldn't win it this year. It has been a focus point of their whole season, and they are a game away from realizing a dream that was really interrupted last year. Look at some statistics from game number 2.
Well, pretty easy to see that service reception was a key factor. Take a look at what Calgary's got. Unforced errors. Take a look. 15 unforced errors in Montreal. You can't win very much that way. Montreal doing all right on the blocking, but then you go to kills, and Calgary is clearly killing them there. And the teams from Quebec are usually outstanding in defense, but Calgary's got to beat there as well.
There is the Tantramar Trophy, donated by Mount Allison University in Sackville in 1967, I think it was. And it's the trophy that goes to the winning team. Montreal's name on it in 1970. Calgary's name on it twice, 1983 and 1989.
A lot of people from that 1970 team in Montreal have made a great contribution to volleyball in Canada. Jean Catalan is one of the vice presidents of the Canadian Volleyball Association. John Guillaume at Sherbrooke is one of the outstanding referees. And Michel Roy is still coaching. In fact, he's coaching his young son, but he was a setter on the national team way back in 1970, and those guys are still contributing to the game.
Side out now to University of Montreal.
I was talking to Al Qualley after the game. Al Qualley, the father of Chris Qualley, and he goes, deja vu. He said just 2 weeks ago, his daughter playing down in Northern Carolina basketball injured her knee as well. Qualley's not having a good run.
They sure aren't. Chris is sitting down on the Calgary bench. He's got a strained medial collateral in his right knee. He's hoping he won't need surgery. Parsons has the ball knocked out of bounds, and it's side out to Calgary. Berleur got in front of it, but the ball fell outside the line. I'm so impressed with the play of this young man, Chris Parsons. Didn't play at all in the national final in his rookie year in '89, but he has really made a contribution over the last 5 years to the Dinosaurs. That time, the hard hit ball by Montreal's number 10, Chartier, off his counterpart, the Dinosaurs. Side out now to Montreal, Bernard Lemieux. His team in front, 1-0, one of the few times in this match that the University of Montreal has had the lead, and now they're up 2-0.
Berleur lining up on McDermott and stuffing him. That's clearly what Montreal has to do on a consistent basis. Stop McDermott in the middle.
Heinrichs hits the winner off the hands of Chartier. McDermott, as Vic told you, has the leading service percentage in Canada West this year. Back to put the ball in play for the Dinosaurs.
When you take a look, he's got a good float serve. I mean, that one didn't look that tough, but when that ball's coming at you, it's like a knuckleball in baseball. And when an air turbulence builds up behind it, the ball slows down to 10 meters per second. The air turbulence takes over, and it just moves. Take a look again. Another one. I remember when the University of Calgary was playing UCLA earlier this year. Remember when McDermott went back and he was serving those balls down? Greg Ryan said it looked like they were in a wind tunnel. There it is. That's the shot he loves.
What a smart play by Parsons.
Now, considering Parsons really doesn't like to go half speed, but it's whatever scores.
He's been just hammering winners left and right off that side of the court. That time, it's a service ace for McDermott.
That's right, Arch Beck, the linesman on that side, one of our national referees here, and now in Edmonton, takes a look at it. He sees it down the line.
Montreal sends Johan Michaud back into the lineup for Gervais Perron.
Well, they got to do something to try to maybe unnerve McDermott a little bit. McDermott getting the signals from the bench as to where he's to serve it.
That time off Heinrich's hands.
Chartier.
So Calgary picks up 4 points on McDermott's serve, lead 4-2 here in Game 3. They won the first 2 games, 15-12 and 15-4, and Simon Berleur for Montreal puts the ball in play for the Carabins. And Parsons has another winner.
I think that expression that Greg Ryan gave me, that Parsons has more moves than a can of worms, is a good example. You take a look what he did on that right side that time. And remember, he's been playing left side for most of this match.
Good job that time by Mark Ouellette, first-year phys ed student from Maisonneuve College in Montreal.
I asked Alain, I said, what would you say about Ouellette? He said, more than just a young man. He said he's powerful.
Berleur can't get the winner.
Yeah, see, Simone, because of that foot problem, just took a little off his jump, and that was the difference as to why he didn't go over that net.
Gervais Perron back into the game now, and Johan Michaud comes to the bench for Montreal. That time they set it up nice. Montreal does a pretty good job passing. Bernard Lemieux, the setter, really always seems to have a good ball to set for his power guys.
Well, again, the coach refers to him as the doctor, not just because he's in medical school, but he loves his surgical approach to setting.
Calgary had to scramble that time. Never really seemed to have any feeling for what they wanted to accomplish out there.
Well, if Cameron had got that ball over and scored, it would have been rather unusual. That was an incredible broken play that Cameron was trying to put over the net.
Side out Montreal. Verleur that time.
Verleur coming alive. He's had a couple of good balls in, and I get the feeling that that's what he needs to get into this game. There's the service reception with Heinrich in there.
Parsons is into this game. He must have a dozen kills by now.
Remember, that's where Parsons was big. See, he used to play that position opposite the center, so he knows that shot well.
Jason Smigel serves. And a good block at the net by Mark Ouellette. Side out now for the University of Montreal. Good block once again, Verleur and Lemieux.
Well, the thing that Montreal did that time is they put Verleur on the outside, let Lemieux take the inside, so they had a very strong outside blotter on Andy Cameron. But back in the middle, and McDermott's doing all right there, but he mistimed that one, but it was still enough to get in.
Side out now to Montreal. 5-4, Caravan the lead here in game 3.
An example of how important service reception is.
A winner by McDermott and Wenzel once again. They have been very strong on that side. Calgary defensively in this game looks off balance. I don't know what it is, but they just don't seem to know what it is they're trying to accomplish out there. The last
defense?
3 or 4 points on defense have been a real scramble for the Dinosaurs, and they're very lucky to be close at all here.
Well, part of that is I think Montreal's starting to play it a little bit better because all of a sudden Simon Verleur is hitting the ball harder and putting them in a lot more difficulty.
Here is Bernard Lemieux. Heinrichs that time hammered the ball at Goran Anaby, and there wasn't a thing the Montreal player could do about it.
Heinrich spent 2 years at Red Deer College before coming on to the University of Calgary. And McDermott started playing volleyball in grade 7 with Andy Cameron. Andy Cameron was in grade 8. Products of the Dino volleyball system.
They played volleyball, they played basketball. Cameron was a track star in high school. Provincial high jump champion. And nobody can do anything about Christian Chartier when he hit the ball as hard as he did there. Side out with Simon Verleur back to serve for the Caravan.
Chartier's got to do that. He's got to be hitting that ball hard. And up till now, he's just been half speeding balls. Although I should say he's had a few hard ones.
Well, they're getting Verleur loose in the middle now, and the big guy's starting to find the range.
Well, I was starting to feel a bit embarrassed because I said in the opening that we were going to get a clinic from this young man. And so far, all we've had is the odd brilliance, but enough so that people can see what he is capable of doing.
You just didn't say what time the clinic was going to start.
Thank you, Peter. I really do appreciate that. Well, I guess, Peter, we could say the clinic has started.
We're going to have a match now.
Ballure, you see him coming out of the back row, and even though there were 2 Calgarians on him, he got it through. Big change in this game, Peter. 44 kill efficiency for Montreal, only 9% for Calgary. That's one of the big change-arounds right now. Dave Jones, our statistician, getting the stats to me quickly. We got a carry ball.
And a point for the Dinosaurs now.
Ed Taves right up there.
The serve by Parsons is long. Side out now to Montreal, leading 7-6 here in Game 3.
Parsons serving a lot better than he did when we did that match when they played UCLA. Whoa, Eddie Taves getting a real tight call in there. Carried ball. The setter's got to get right up tight to the net. You can't be just getting there when the ball gets there. You've got to be there before the ball gets there if you're going to make those tight sets.
There's Cameron again.
Well, I was mentioning earlier that Greg Ryan had started a new jump training program, and you can take a look at how high Cameron gets as he goes up, and watch him sky as he drives it through that Montreal block.
8-6, Montreal in front. A little house cleaning on the Calgary side of the court.
Parsons has a 60% attack efficiency. We're talking high. I mean, if you've got attack efficiency in the 35-40%, you're going to be happy, but 60% is really quite exceptional. And I don't think Montreal would have scouted for Parsons to be hitting those balls out of the right back position the way he's doing it.
More moisture in the back of the Calgary court, so there'll be a momentary stoppage in play here while the players get that cleaned up. Now we're ready. That time Cameron was a little long. And a timeout called by Greg Ryan, who is shaking his head and saying, we seem to have this match well in hand about 20 minutes ago. Right now, 15-12, 15-4, and Montreal leads Game 3, 9-6 as we take a timeout from the University of Alberta in Edmonton.
Craig and Kevin Jones, identical twins except when it came to their hair. The Kevins looked great, but Craig had dandruff. I had to prove to Craig that he could take care of the flakes and still have hair that looked as good as Kevin's. So I washed half his head with ordinary shampoo and half with Head & Shoulders. Even with regular use of ordinary shampoo, the flakes come back. But with regular use of Head & Shoulders, look, no more flakes. Now Craig's hair looks just as good as Kevin's. Maybe better. Head & Shoulders, dandruff care for great-looking hair.
Let's go, Dinos! Push it up now. Let's go, guys. You're in the University of Calgary huddle, where Greg Ryan has been issuing some specific instructions about what to do when Simon Berleur is sprung free by the Montreal attackers coming down the middle of the court. Prayer might help.
Or 3 blockers on him, but right now Montreal is passing well in this set, 57%. Calgary's only at 30. Shows the importance of passing. See, Heinrich's pass isn't good enough. And when it's not good enough, then they can't run the middle effectively.
You talked about Berleur on McDermott. That time Berleur won the matchup. 11-on-6. Keep your eye on it.
And there's another example of what happens with bad passing. Whoa, that was on its way out of bounds.
And he said it was too close. Good play that time by the captain, Gervais Perrault. We talked about the mental edge, Victor, in the outset of this telecast as we look at another substitution here. And Scott Anderson coming in for Calgary for Jason Smigel. The mental edge. Calgary owned it the first 2 games, but that toughness has surfaced in the Montreal team here in Game 3.
But you'd also made a point. Calgary's not used to leading. So you see, sometimes when a team's leading, you know what they end up doing? They end up trying not to lose instead of finishing the other team off. So Calgary has had a psychology of coming back. Well, what do you do when you're ahead? You finish the other team off is what you do. And then, you know, it's a real problem if you're ahead and you're starting to sense, okay, we've got this. There's a combination play. McDermott going up. Cameron coming right over top of him. That's a textbook shot. Now, Andy Cameron, you know, in that 5th game rally point, he kept spike serving all the way through, and he's still doing it, no matter what the score is.
A smart play by the doctor, Bernard Lemieux. A little left-hand dump over the net for a winner. Parsons hits another one.
See, one of the great things about Parsons is he really doesn't care if he gets blocked once in a while. It allows him, as he said, to experiment with the block, so he knows that he can go through them. He'd rather challenge them than go around them.
Berleur this time from the left side of the court. It's the winner. Side out Montreal. The Carabao lead 12-6 here in game 3.
The attack percentages are pretty well equal right now. Montreal at 60%, Calgary at 62%, but I really think the big thing is that service reception, which you just saw problems with. And
good alert play there by Ben Heinrichs.
And Chartier tried the one-hand block, which in the beach game is called the Kong block.
Jason Spiegel checks back in for Calgary. Scott Anderson sits down.
Well, Anderson did his job across the back row, gives Schmeigel a little bit of a rest, and Anderson getting more and more experience.
McDermott serves for the Dinosaurs.
People are looking for a touch, but that's why you got those linesmen out there. No touch called by any of the linesmen.
2 officials at the net, 4 on the corners. McDermott serves. Good play, Cameron. Good hit, Parsons.
Well, Parsons taking a look at a new shot that time. He looked cross court and hit it down the line. When I asked Greg, I said, what do you say about McDermott? He says, intelligent and power. And he's showing that intelligence with his serving.
Wenzel made a great try, but needed some help and couldn't get it. Berleur, much more of a factor in this game, I think, than he was certainly in the first 2, but even in the semifinal, he wasn't nearly as effective as Alain Belleville would have liked.
And remember, he's also a spike server, and he's gone away from his spike serve. When he goes away from his spike serve, that takes something away from Montreal. That time he went with a half speed. But one of the things the players got to realize, if you go with a half speed, it still means you got to do a full jump. He did half speed and half jump, and it's not over.
They let it go long. Morin Anabi thought it was going to go out. It goes instead for a service ace for Chris Parsons. And the Dinos, who were in real trouble, are still in some difficulty, trailing 12-9, but it looks brighter than it did before that last time out. This time, service long. Side out Montreal.
Berleur just got out of the way of that last night in the semifinal. He did get out of the way, and it nailed him right on the foot. Oh, a miss hit by Cameron.
That was deliberate. He tried to do that time.
Oh, sure he did.
He did.
No.
Trust me, Vic, trust me.
Oh, Peter, I can't believe it. You've become an expert commentator. That's how quickly you learn this game. He did that one on purpose. That was a half-speeder on purpose. See, Berleur coming out of that middle back, and then Ouellette finishing it off in the middle. Boy, Ouellette in his first year is going to be a great player. He is strong. Watch him, he's up. Maybe could have been up a little bit faster, but just enough to beat that block. There's the 2-man service reception on Calgary. McDermott with a great pass up, and the combination on the right side. Wenzel deciding to do a little fight at the net.
Great job by Montreal.
And you can see that you've got a great referee there because the ball came down and he, inside, and he just made a little play up. Often referees make an automatic call on that, and that's often inappropriate.
Ed Taves, senior official here. Work play by Jason Spiegel.
He won the battle. The Montreal team would like to suggest that maybe he carried that one. Right now in the dig statistics, Montreal with 7 digs, Calgary with 5.
Once again, the left-hander, Gervais Perron, scores the winner. Side out Montreal, 2 points away from winning Game 3.
And when Hélène Belleville talked about Perron, he said tenacity, and you can see that.
Great try there as Lemieux went over to the announcer table to try and field that one. Side out Calgary, Cameron ready to serve.
Well, let's see what he does, see if he can put that spike serve in.
A winner there for Berleur.
Oh, great defense on Montreal. It's going to be a free ball back to Calgary. Parsons this time off the block. The ball then ended up touching the antenna, meaning it was out of bounds.
Gosh, he's played well. Chris Parsons is a terrific effort here for the University of Calgary.
I don't think Chris Parsons wants to see this thing go 5.
I know Greg Ryan doesn't. Parsons again.
Well, Berleur and McDermott having their battle. Earlier, Berleur was winning it. McDermott looked like he's starting to win it now. They get a good pass up, they're going to go to Berleur. Berleur is moving to the outside now.
There he is again.
Yeah, he's just a little too passive, a little too lethargic. I said to Lemieux, I said, what do you do to Berleur when he starts to get out of it? He says, I get over there and tell him I'm the setter, you better put that ball in.
Timeout on the floor, called by the University of Montreal. And it's time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you tonight by the Mutual Group.
The Turning Point, when you start thinking seriously about tomorrow. That's when you can turn to us for expert advice and a wide range of financial services, from life insurance to mortgages. The Mutual Group and you, facing tomorrow together.
The Montreal Carabins had this game in hand, it seemed, a few minutes ago. Alain Belleville discussing strategy on the bench with Marc Ouellette. They were ahead 13-7. It is now 13-11.
Well, Greg Ryan would say you've got to have patience. One of the things that I've suggested to Greg Ryan is that, yes, you've got to have patience, but you've got to go for the kill. You've got to finish them off. So what does Greg mean by patience? He said, when we're on service reception, we make sure that we get the ball in. When we've got the ball to serve, then we take our chances and go for it. When we're on service reception, we go to make sure we get the side out. Berleur's at a 28% kill efficiency. Not very good for one of the stars in the game.
Great pass up. There's Parsons again. That's a great hit for the kill by Parsons, but it's a terrific play in the backcourt by Cameron because he got a hard serve to deal with, received it well, and set it perfectly for Wenzel.
Parsons should go back and thank Cameron immediately.
They don't give assists necessarily, but they could give one there to Andy Cameron.
And there goes Parsons again through the block. Now, they've also put Berleur on the outside, and they put Lemieux, the center, in the middle. Now, Lemieux taking a look at Simon and trying to, Simone, trying to tell him what he wanted. Incredible short serve.
That time the block by McDermott and Heinrichs. The ball goes out of bounds. The game even at 13.
Wenzel now giving his signals. He's got some interesting possibilities here because he's got McDermott and he's got Parsons. And you see Parsons anchoring that feeling. But you notice he's not afraid of the block feeder. He just goes right after them every single time. Be interesting if Calgary was to win this as to who you would pick as the outstanding player.
Well, they're a point away.
Schmeichel up there. Remember Schmeichel, he's only been playing 30% of the time. We got a timeout now by Montreal.
Timeout on the floor. Montreal is leading 12-8. It's 14-13 Calgary in game 3. The Dinosaurs with serve. 1 point away from a national title.
The tip weak side will score, Bungie. Right?
Yes. And what are we looking at, G-Man?
The 12, 10, 11. Okay, watch the outs number 11. If it's inside, block them angle, okay? You got a 13 or 33. I think 33 to number 10. Take them in to cover 2. Come on.
Push, Dinos, push! The Calgary fans are alive.
Getting another chance. And they give it to Valera one more time.
The blocker's got a piece of it, but it goes out of bounds. Well, and it's side out Montreal.
Simone had a chance to show why he is one of the stars of the game because Lemieux just kept going to him. He said, well, you better do it for us.
No spike serve that time.
Chris Parsons right now has a 61% attack efficiency, which is absolutely out of sight. He's got 12 kills just in this set. Whoa, Benji went with a half speed. He should have hit it hard.
It's out, and it's over. Are the men's CIAU champions in volleyball for 1993. 15-12, 15-4, and a come from behind 15-13. Greg Ryan, in his 8th year as the head coach of the men's team.
That's his dad that just came down there to wish him, give him congratulations.
A marvelous moment for a great coach who puts a lot of his heart and soul into the game of volleyball and is rewarded with a straight set win in the men's volleyball final.
Get to know Geo your own way. Todd and his Geo never go out without each other. Aaron and Steve road trip with theirs and like the idea of roadside assistance. Kelly kicks back with a good book, a real fuel economy story. And Drew spends a little quality time with his Geo. So get to know your own Geo on a first name basis, right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealer.
Say, that's a great-looking camera you have. Where'd you get it? No, don't tell me. One of those specialty camera shops. Wait, I'll bet it's a big-name department store. I'll bet it set you back a bundle.
Actually, no.
Introducing the Nippon 35mm focus-free camera. This simple-to-use camera has an automatic film counter and double exposure protection. Its smooth focusing and high resolution make it fully automatic from load to rewind. The hot shoe is synchronized for electronic flash, a 50mm lens, and a tripod mount. With all these features, you'd think this camera would cost over $100. Well, think again. This no-fuss camera can be yours for only $24.95, and that's not all. It also comes with a convenient neck strap, a deluxe leatherette carry case, a professional 50mm sunshade, and a 2-year unlimited warranty. And there's more. Call right now, and the first 10,000 customers who order the Nippon camera will also get 100 rolls of free Kodak film with purchased processing. This simple, lightweight, and affordable Nippon 35mm camera and 100 rolls of free Kodak film.
Say, where can I get one?
Just pick up the phone and call.
Credit card customers call 1-800-563-4466. That's 1-800-563-4466. Or send just $24.95 plus $5 shipping and handling to Nippon Camera, 410 Passmore Avenue, Unit 1, Scarborough, Ontario, M1V5C3. Call 1-800-563-4466.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you tonight by the Mutual Group.
This has got to be the greatest turning point I have ever seen in volleyball because it's a block over here. Okay, now we're getting a good recovery. But what you're going to see is another great dig out over the right-hand side. And then what's going to happen is Parsons comes through and nails it through the block, something that he did all the way through this match.
A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and the Mutual Group. Financial, producer, services, and expert advice, the Mutual Group, and you facing tomorrow together. A straight set win for the University of Calgary Dinosaurs in the 1993 Men's CIAU Volleyball Final. Back with more after this.
Getting to know.
Get to know Geo your own way. Todd and his Geo never go out without each other. Aaron and Steve road trip with theirs and like the idea of roadside assistance. Kelly kicks back with a good book, a real fuel economy story. And Drew spends a little quality time with his Geo. So get to know your own Geo on a first-name basis, right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealer.
Imagine visiting yourself in the future.
Wow, look who's here. I know you. Sure do. I'm you 25 years later. What am I doing here? We spend our winters here. Did we win the lottery? No lottery. Freedom 55.
Only your London Life representative offers Freedom 55. Protection today, plus a financial plan that works, so one day you won't have to.
And when did we start driving convertibles? About the same time we started surfing. Surfing?
Curlers, with the Hammer Broom, you will never lose a shot to a hair or straw again.
Every curler has had a good shot ruined by straw or push broom hair. The Hammer eliminates debris and creates increased friction for better results.
The Hammer's easy to change faceplates suit different ice conditions.
The Hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device our team has ever used.
For the location of a store near you, call 1-800-567-7757.
The CIAU Men's Volleyball Final has been brought to you by Geo. Get to know Geo at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. There is the Tantramar Trophy. We're ready for the presentation of the trophy and banner. Here is the public address announcer at the University of Alberta.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the award ceremonies for the 1993 CIAU Men's Volleyball Championship. I would like to introduce the President of the University of Alberta, Dr. Paul Davenport, who will present the Tantramar Trophy to the 1993 CIAU Men's Volleyball Champions, the University of Calgary Dinosaurs. Would the team captain, Blair McDermott, please come forward to accept the trophy? Next, I would like to ask the Vice President of Marketing for the CIAU, Mr. Pat Murray, from the University of York, to present the championship banner to the University of Calgary. And now to present the gold medals to this year's champions, I would like to introduce Dr. Art Quinney, the Dean of the Faculty of Physical Education and Recreation for the University of Alberta. Assisting Dr. Quinney will be Greg Johnson and Sarah Binder from the University Athletic Board. Would the members of the University of Calgary Dinosaurs please come forward to accept their medals? Number 1, Scott Cochran. Number 2, Steve Can. Number 5, Scott Anderson. Number 6, Claire McDermott. Number 8, Benji Heinrich. Number 9, Jason Evans. Number 10, Jason Smigel. Number 11, Andy Cameron. Number 12, Chris Parsons. Number 13, Jeff Wenzel. Number 14, Jason Krellin. Number 15, Chris Wally. Number 3, Vern Dick. Head coach Greg Ryan, assistant coaches Guy Perdue, Rob Lindbergh, Mark Eckert, and Chris Blanchett.
A very happy University of Calgary Dinosaur team accepting medals and the Tantramar Trophy and the championship banner. And the tournament all-stars, Blair McDermott from Calgary, from Winnipeg, John LeBun, from Montreal, Gervais Perron, the team captain, from Calgary, the setter, Jeff Wenzel, from Montreal, Simon Berleur, and from Manitoba, Ken Cron. The most outstanding player of the tournament was Andy Cameron. In his 5th and final year, there he is, number 11 for the University of Calgary. What a great way to finish up a collegiate career with a championship in the first year and a championship in the final year. He and Chris Parsons have that distinction. A 3rd title to the University of Calgary, 1983, 1989, and now 1993, the CIAU men's volleyball champions. For now, for all of us here, and for colleague Mick Lindell, I'm Peter Watts. Thanks for being with us. So long from the University of Alberta in Edmonton.